Hey y'all, let me try to see if I can get some kind of audio going here. I didn't have my microphone. Let's see. No, I don't think my AirPod gonna work. So we'll just. Can you guys hear me okay? Put a one in the chat if that's fine. I'm sorry. I thought I was gonna be chilling and able to do this video, but no. Hey, Potato, I missed what the congratulations were for earlier, so I just want to say it. Congratulations. I'm sorry. I saw you said celebration and I missed all of that stuff. Miss you, Potato. Okay. So, and Potato, I'm not on the computer, as you can tell. Hey, you guys, welcome to Burgundy Blue Commentary, where we talk about what we want to talk about when we're ready to talk about. So, I want to talk about something that's been coming across my desk for a little bit. And you guys know I delve for my people that's jumping in here because they're like, okay, Berg, are you talking about sister wives? Are you talking about this? Or are you talking about that? I'm sorry, I'm talking about Dalton right now. So this is for my Dalton peeps. It's something that's just weird to me. And it's the phenomenon, and this is not to pinpoint anyone. I do know a certain person did a video today. 2 days ago, someone else did a video. And I think before that, someone else made a mention of, well, it was Tiffany Wright. And I see this trend. And I just want to say this. Why did it take a year and a half of y'all to beat Tiffany down? The worst mayor in America, send all the vloggers out there, sending all just the worst, terrorizing our town, terrorizing us. Anybody that's dared to be different was terrorized and tried to be ruined. Why did it take y'all a year and a half of that? But then, like, in 3 months, you were talking about, we don't like Napoleon. What? We don't know about the trustees. Excuse me. Yeah. Is this thing on? Is this thing recording? Congratulations, Potato, and thank you for your service. And Veterans Day is next week. We celebrate you. Thank you for everything. So I want to just say my side of things because no one listens to my side of things because I'm Burgundy Blue. I'm the girl that got cried on the internet because I was just under a lot of pressure. You guys know what I was under, especially my people over there on Patreon. You guys walked the walk and supported me so much. I appreciate y'all. Actually, if you think about it, Patreon is actually really better than YouTube membership sometime. I love my YouTube membership, but Patreon be where it's at. So I haven't been posting a lot, but hopefully get to it. This is my thing, and I'm just going to be straight up. I'm from Chicago, I'm from the South Side, and I'm from Dalton. When I started talking about Dalton, you ran into all these content creators that told you guys I didn't even live here, even though I was giving you history, even though I was interviewed by the Lansing Journal, even though I let the Lansing Journal in the library because I'm from Dalton, right? Shout out to Melanie and Josh. You know, they could have got in there anyway. They were in there anyway. But just because I'm from Dalton, we're in the Dalton Public Library. It was just like, oh, they didn't open a yearbook. They didn't tell you nothing. It was just pitchfork, pitchfork, pitchfork. And I see that happening with a lot of people. I took my time to make some clips of several people You saw one person come out, and it was just because they felt the need that they wanted to knuck if they buck. But I want to preface this by saying I respect Shay. Hey, thank you, Shavis. 19 months. Thank you for being down with me. Hey Tracy, my love. I want to, and oh, hold on. Let me say this. I got a 19.99 super chat goal or Cash App goal. Yes, I do. Because I notice everybody now, they're full on blown YouTubers now when it was a problem to be a YouTuber. Even though I was a YouTuber for the last, this is my 5th year. But go off. So and let me know if you want more of these kind of videos. Y'all let me know. So when I saw what was going on and this whole thing, like, and oh, I forgot this. I was gonna say this part. Shout out to Shay from Late Night Crew. I'm not trying to destroy anything he built. I'm here for what he built. But this is the thing, when you guys talk about me and Shay, his story is his story, my story is my story. And even though we're cool and support each other, we have two different stories because Shay is where he's at, and he didn't deserve anything that happened to him from just reporting on Dalton. It used to be so fun, you guys. If you guys were not here back in the day, it was the funnest times. Everybody was going into everybody's chats. Everybody was cool with each other. I mean, you had your big YouTubers like Nate the Lawyer or Hannibal is Hungry, or you had your huge YouTubers that would stop by. Shay, anybody that calls Shay broke, y'all wrong as hell. Wrong. And I'm going to tell you why. He was making it rain in everybody chat. Every single person chat. If you guys remember that, put a 1 in the chat. If you guys remember seeing, as soon as somebody's show came on, Shay was dropping 20, 30. He was the originator of that. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all remember that. I couldn't even get on my stream. Other people, then the same, it was reciprocated all through. All these different content creators would go to each other's channels. You will see us all come and support each other. And at that time, I was new to live streaming. And let me tell you, live streaming is a whole different beast. Hello, we got Mama Hill. Mama Hill, let us know what you need in the chat. Thank you for looking out for the community. Mama Hill is looking out for the community. She also posted for people to let people know that the news was coming to see Free Indeed and let them know what they had going on. Thank you, Mama Hill, for giving us everything we need if we miss it online. So all of that was going on. Everybody was supporting one another. It was no beef. Like I always said, I would go to, nobody's talking to each other now, but you would get up in the morning, you would see, and I'm here. Now imagine you living in a town, and Mama Hill, maybe you could feel what I'm feeling. You living in a town and you're watching on YouTube what everybody's saying, and then you look out the window and you said, what? This happened today? Okay, let me drive up there. I don't see no news. I don't see no police. What the fans are here? If you guys remember when I was reporting live and the helicopters were coming, I thought it was the Fed helicopters. It was the news. And I'll never forget the day that Andrew Holmes were captured. You guys remember, I went up there like, wait a minute, they said they called Andrew Holmes. I saw Tiffany across the street, Andrew at Starbucks enjoying a latte. Like I was like, wait, I was so confused. So remember, I'm new to live streaming. So I don't know what's going on. So I'm like trying to report what's going on. I said, well, wait, what y'all saying is going on is not what's going on. It was so strange to me. So while I was going through, and let me tell you, my tragedy is no bigger than anyone else's tragedy. What happened in my life is no bigger than what happened in your life or the next person's life. But I was just going through a lot. And then when I started to see these trustees, but I never noticed, it was just 2. And they were like, oh my goodness, can we help you? What do you need? We're checking on you and your family. And I'm like, okay, well, thanks. These people are good. And I was like, man, I really want to sit down and meet the women trustees, because by growing up in Dalton, it was probably a clerk. The clerk was always a woman, and you might have one woman trustee to balance out everything. But mostly growing up here, and even when I worked for the village, all the clerks were women. The water department were women. You might have had a woman dispatcher in the fire department, police department, but it wasn't a big influx of powerful women on the board like it is now. And I just thought that was amazing. And I was like, I want to talk about that. And even better, everyone was young. And I mean young compared to the, you know what I mean? Like the president and the mayors, they were super young. Like Brandon Johnson is super young to me to be a mayor. So, hey Scott, Raging, what's up, you guys? Hey Gardis. And Nay, I'm sorry, I see you in there. So we're just talking about what happened. And you know what? If you guys have something to say and you guys know who you are, if anybody want to come up, you guys got my number. Just hit me, text me. I'll send you the link. And I'll, my people, y'all know, or inbox me. So I was sitting up here like, man, so this is happening in Dalton. And this, I just want to do this video because I saw Choose post today, Choose Compassion, shout out to her. And it inspired me because the thing about Choose Compassion, she felt one way and I was still cool with her. She's my fellow Falcon. And then she saw something different and she felt another way, right? I think that's cool for everybody. But the thing I like about Choose Compassion is she never tried to be anybody's enemy. When she didn't agree with something, she just told people, I did not agree. You see what I'm saying? Whereas the people that were on one side, okay, they were on one side and now they're coming over to another side. They don't want to apologize for nothing. And that's going to lead to trouble later. And I'm not just pointing out deeds that were done to me, but deeds that were done to others. They just want to be protected under an umbrella, but never face actually what they did to people. And that's several of them. And I don't have a problem with that. I just don't think it's going to end well. And if you guys know anything about me, you know I love to document. Check on this in a year. Check on what I said in a year. And I told you that about a certain someone down there in Atlanta, and you see where we are now. Now, despite it all, you don't hear on this channel no name calling, no doxing, no snapping. No, I will defend myself. But you don't hear me talking under people's clothes, as the old folks used to say. You don't hear none of that because that's not what I'm here for. And even if you got some videos, you even see me stop a couple of fights. I don't go for that. I think we're all ladies, and some more than others. And I'm talking about a certain person that's not gendered a lady, but you know what I'm talking about. But we're not here for that. I don't want people to come back on my channel and see me calling you a name or talking about you under your clothes or talking about your kids or doxing you. You're not to be trusted. Period. Especially if you can't apologize. And if you want to only apologize to certain people around the situation, you're not genuine anyway. Period. And look, all apologies are not genuine. That's okay. And all apologies are not accepted. Let's talk about Tiffany. This is I told Shay from the get-go, and I'm throwing him in here because I told him He tried to do something super simple, and we did not know each other at all. He tried to throw a pizza party, invite only. I told him, he'll tell you. I said it'll never happen. This is going to be, everybody wants to know who all going to be there. Do you know that? Do you know that situation? Have you ever ran into that? Hey, you want to come? Who all going to be there? That's this situation. And here in Dalton, even though we have a food pantry, even though we have crime, the dude that bust up the slot machines 3 times, busting in the place, even though we have 25 liquor stores, people are class based. They judge you on what you wear, what you drive, how your hair is. Now, I don't know if you guys ever heard of Hyde Park in Chicago. Have you guys ever heard of that? Let me know. Put a 1 in the chat. You could go to Hyde Park. Your edges cannot be perfect. You could have 2 French braids. You don't have to have your eyebrows perfect, and you could be a millionaire. But you could be in food stamps in Dalton, and you better have your lace front on. It's weird. It's weird. When I saw this one content creator come to Dalton, I knew she wasn't going to be accepted. Not because of anything bad about her. I never thought nothing about her, bad about her, ever. I never did. I didn't know why she was coming at me from left field. I was like, okay, all right. I said, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it because I grew up here. I know how it is. Not only did I just grow up here, I know how people act here. Not all of them, but it's not all of them. It's not. It's a mentality where you have to make someone beneath you to survive. And it sucks. And you guys see it a lot on YouTube, and you don't say anything about it. It's like we gotta knock this person all the way down. We gotta say they're ugly, they're fat, they're this, they're that, they're this, and they broke, they dusty, you gotta say all that. The stuff I heard today, I was like, okay, are we in kindergarten? But okay, they the PP boy, they the PP girl. They got to do that to make, so that people be like, My question is, if we are, Google Kenilworth, Illinois. They don't got a food pantry. You know what I mean? And there's no shade to the food pantry. People need it. But that stuff they don't have 50 liquor stores. That stuff don't exist. They don't have smoke shops. They don't have a Dollar Tree. They don't have a Dollar General. That don't exist in certain neighborhoods. It just don't. You know what I mean? Certain neighborhoods it does. Like, I'm not saying Orland doesn't have those things, but they also have hella sit-down restaurants. You will go crazy trying to find you. Shay couldn't find nowhere to sit down for a pizza party. So let's get back to the pizza party. So he tried to have a pizza party. I said it's not going to happen. So the pizza party turned into, and yes, this is Pizzagate. This is my favorite subject. Out of everything that happened this whole year and a half, it was not the help me situation. It wasn't the feds coming to bust up the village hall, which whatever. It wasn't Vivian whipping off her wig or whatever. The whole thing that happened out of this was Pizzagate. So he finally said, I'm gonna go buy y'all some pizzas. That's what he said on the phone. So I said, okay, cool. So me and a couple other people are like, are you gonna go? You're gonna go. Because of course I'm old school. So this is somebody we don't know. We meeting him on the internet, blah, blah, blah. So we all coming in a group. We all know who each other is, Shay gets there. I watch Shay take the pizzas out his truck. Why are the pizzas such a big deal? Because he had y'all ever saw, what was the name of that guy that used to have the cheeseburgers, and he'll say, "I gladly pay you today for a cheeseburger." The next day, I can't think of the catchphrase. Do you guys remember that? Let me see. Who was that guy? Was it Wimpy? Okay, it was Wimpy. Thank you, y'all. I was trying to find an image of Wimpy. He would be walking around with a stack of cheeseburgers in the air. That's how Shay, that was Wimpy from Popeye. Thank you, Gardis. You remember Wimpy would have like the stack of cheeseburgers going? That's how Shay and somebody else, if they want to say who they were, they could put in a chat. We're walking into the village, to the park district with these stacks of pizzas. It looked like a cartoon. So at that point, we're all first meeting each other at the first time. All of the people you guys call the Avengers, basically, we were meeting each other at the first time at the April the 8th meeting. So when I say Shay brought enough pizzas for the whole board meeting, and that was the Lori Lightfoot meeting, he really did. And let me tell you something, Beggar's pizzas are not cheap. He didn't bring us Little Caesars. I would have brought y'all Domino's, $5 on a Monday or whatever. But he brought whole on pizzas, and that was really cool. So I'm in line. I'm giving y'all the whole version, the whole tea. So I'm in line with the Rico Critical, a couple of more people, but media wise, the news people were there too. But I'm talking about us as bloggers. At this time, everybody and their mama were not videoing the meetings. Who did you go to? You went to Critical Smoker or you went to Reality Check TV, Chicago. Shout out to them. But Shay was basically the biggest name there. People were begging for his. It was weird. People were not in a bad way. I don't mean weird in a bad way. It's no shade to Shay. People were walking out like, "Can I get a t-shirt? Can I get a t-shirt? Can I buy a t-shirt?" They really were. And Shay was not bringing merch. He was like, "Man, I ain't planning to bring no merch. I don't want to, so I'll just give it away or whatever." So that's how it was. People wore their late night cruise shirts there as well. So we walk into the board meeting. Stephanie Wiederman takes the pizzas to the back room, right? So we like, cool, bet. I ain't ate all day. This me. Soon as I got my Hi-C orange, as soon as we get out of this meeting, I'm about to tear this pizza up. Hopefully he got veg. I love veggie, I love cheese, and I love I forgot the name of it. Chicken and pineapple. Sue me. So I probably he didn't have that, but whatever. I was ready for cheese. So we see how many pizzas walk in. Stephanie took them to the back. So I'm thinking the back was where she was gonna open the doors and we were gonna get a slice of pizza and talk with Shay and the other people, maybe the trustees. I'm thinking we're gonna have like a little media shindig in the back, plus the people that wanted to stay for the meeting, not just the media. So I'm standing there. They take the pizzas to the back, and I'm like, okay. So Nikita comes out and she greets Shay. And she said, "Hey, I want to invite you over here with media." And he looks at me and the other people like, well, they're media too. He was trying to be courteousable. And we were like, "Go ahead, Shay, go. He was just trying to be really nice. Like, I ain't gonna leave them too." And I don't know if he remembered he did that. He turned around, even though she said, "I want to invite you in as media." I wonder if Shay remember that. So he was standing over there with media. So I come in, I'm sitting down. I see some more people. I think I sat by Mama Hill or behind Mama Hill, but I sat in the area and I met a lot of people. So we get some interviews with the trustees and the clerk and all of that good stuff. And I'm watching Brittany Norwood walk out with a pizza box. And I know why y'all just like, "Berg, what is it with you with this pizza?" It just shocked me. And she was eating. And then I watched other people just with whole boxes. Like Jason had a box, Kiana had 2 boxes. I'm just looking like, wait a minute now. Like, a couple of y'all people I see in the chat now, they took a box home. And I was like, wait, 1 plus 1 divided by 8 squares. If y'all didn't know, pizza here in Chicago come by squares. So these weren't slices, they are cut into squares. Let me know if y'all know that. That's how the thin crust is cut in Chicago. So it might have been an 8 instead of 8 slices, it would be 16 squares or something like that, something weird like that. I love Pizzagate, Gardens. Hey, Choose. So, this is Pizzagate is my favorite subject of it all because I got kind of mad. I was like, I thought he said we were gonna have pizza, as in the entire room, or he had enough he brought enough pizza for everybody to have a square. So, okay. So I said, okay then, all right. So after the meeting, I leave out with somebody else. We go into the parking lot, and Jedediah is in the parking lot. So this is all Pizzagate night. So I'm there, and he's there. Another person is there, and I'm still recording at this time. And we were talking, and he was like, he said, well, who are you, or what? I don't remember how we got to it, but I said, hey, yeah. I said, and then I was like, I'm Burgundy Blue. He said, oh, someone very important told me to watch your page. That's how the conversation started. And I said, well, can I ask you something? And I asked him a question about Staples. And basically my question was very loose, like, she got kids, she got a family. What is going on with that? You know what I mean? So you have to remember, when I ask these questions, you guys are seeing people a certain different way. I'm seeing them as people in my home. You see what I'm saying? And his basic answer, which I accepted, was, I can't really think about people feelings when I do what I do when it's a situation I'm trying to protect. And at that time I didn't know what the situation was. I didn't know nothing about fire station number 2, fire station number 1, police cell number 8, all this stuff that came out, the lady selling Montclair's out her car, all this crazy stuff. What was the other man doing? It was just craziness that just went crazy after that. And I was like, and again, I only saying that to say I'm looking out my front door as somewhere where I lived and where I worked, and was like, and the people I cared about, and was like, is all of this happening? I was like, this is happening right here, right now, and no one's saying anything. I'm like, so I would ask people like, what's going on? And then I would see the people that work there around me and stuff like that. And I won't disclose all of them, but they would be like, man, this is messed up. And a lot of them defended Tiffany. And not because a lot of the people I talked to, they had been through several mayors. So they weren't defending Tiffany to keep their job. And that really kind of, I hope you guys, I want to bring it back, because I hope you guys realize that when you see Robert Hunt still working, right? You see other people still working, right? These people are still, like Stanley Brown wife. I think she should still work. You know what I mean? You guys are saying people are doing this to keep their jobs, when a lot of these people, like Tanika Hughes, Tiffany didn't give them their jobs. They had these jobs way before Tiffany even came over there. And it just kills me, because if you go through the ratio of how many people got a job because of Tiffany versus how many people are already there, it would be different. And I think that's what hurts me a lot about this whole scenario, is that people are listening to YouTubers, even if you're listening to me, like what I say is facts and gold. No, do your own research. It takes nothing to do your own research and to look into situations. Not gossip, not hearsay, doing your research. So Mama Hill said it was pretty pathetic and sad how some individuals conducted themselves. How it was when Shay did the pizza. Look, share my son. Yep, your son rode with Shay for a bit before Shay went to get the pizza. Then the pizza, yeah. I didn't want to say he came too. Yeah. Who said I told you so? So I'm listening because I'm like, Tiffany is this bad. But then when I started to really ask questions and people didn't want to answer the questions, I'll give you a really great one. It's Martin G. Johnson. It's archived. He did a show and he had Trustee Ed Steve on there. And when he asked him point blank, what did Tiffany steal? I don't want to. I saw the interview Jason did on INA. Has Tiffany stolen? It's bad. How is it's bad? It's bad. It's like nobody want to say, and then nobody want to. When you go to Thornton Township, they don't want to give a forensic report. What is no? The lady stole. We are taxpayers. Show us what this lady stole. We don't need a we don't need a science project on a board. We need you to tell us what she did. We don't need a PowerPoint or a Canva presentation. Show us the facts on what she stole. Okay. So I think what hurts a lot, and I'm not complaining about the second part of this. Well, let me finish the Pizzagate. So we got to go back to Pizzagate. So all of this is happening. So one day I asked Shay, I said, Shay, I thought we were gonna have pizza. He sent me the receipt, and he just spent $2.6 million in pizza, right? I'm exaggerating. And he was like, I did bring the pizza. Y'all didn't get anything. Now he left. So when I'm telling you I'm in the parking lot, he had left. He was like, I'll be right back. I'll meet you guys at the next event. That's where we're supposed to go, where Jason and all of them were going to this marina thing. So we all were supposed to go, but Shay ended up going to the city and then didn't answer the phone. So I was stuck there. Now, if I would have had pizza, I wouldn't have went. But I thought Shay was gonna be there. So that's how that went. So that's when he found out we didn't have the pizza because he thought we had the pizza, but he left early because he wanted to do other things and his LNC rides and all of that stuff. Y'all canceled Christmas last year. Now go back to how Tiffany was having it last year. I showed the numbers broken down on a spreadsheet. It's on my page of how much Zuccarelli spent versus how much Tiffany spent. It was no difference. The only thing Tiffany spent more on, oh my gosh, what was it that I told you guys I didn't agree with? It wasn't the seniors. It wasn't the taste of, was it the Taste of Thornton Township? I think she spent too much at the Taste of Thornton Township. I didn't agree with that. I'm gonna post the video on my community wall so y'all can see it. But I walked you guys through every Christmas. I got the foyers, walked you through every Christmas. Then I walked you through when Zuccarelli and them went to Eaglewood Resorts and got pedicures, manicures, spent the night, spa days, all on the taxpayer dime. Went out of town, went downstate, went to that, I forgot where it was, down south to give them for the church that had lost the people. Spent all the taxpayer money. And they're like, oh, we don't want to hear about what Zuccarelli did. Okay. Okay. So breaking down the numbers meant nothing. You know what really meant? Kamal, what meant something to everybody and why Tiffany wasn't voted back in? Kamal was still married. That's what we care about. No, Kamal's still married. Kamal's still married. Y'all, look at the numbers. Look at what she's doing for the seniors. Y'all, Big Bingo was packed. Packed. Have you guys requested the numbers on what's going on now at Bingo? And how many people are showing up? What kind of gifts are being given? And let's not forget the infamous, we're never, ever, ever going to put our pictures on anything. Tiffany abused it. The pictures are on everything, guys. It's full on Jet Centerfold Beauty of the Week over here in Dalton all day, every day. It has not changed. It don't matter what it is. Garbage pickup, picture. Water bill, picture. Orange juice giveaway, picture. It's like pothole filling, picture. Come on, y'all. we don't see this in other neighborhoods. So was Tiffany really the problem, or was it the problem that your picture wasn't on everything? And when I say these things, I don't say it like Tiffany Henyard is perfect and she was the best person in the world and she did no wrong to anybody, because I always try to leave that space open for you guys. I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. I didn't see it. So I can't take that away from you. However, I did see what happened to Mama Hill at the tea with the trustees, and I covered that, and y'all still didn't protect her. Still, a trustee ran up in Mama Hill face to fight. To fight. Did you see Tiffany run up in anybody's face to fight? And you can't use Thornton Township as an example because she was jumping in for my man, okay? Y'all saw that caucus and you knew that caucus was wrong. You did nothing. You did the na, hey, 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 goodbye. I don't want to hear it. I think that's my point of this. I don't want to hear it. It was a bunch of people that didn't live here telling us how to live. And I think that's what frustrates me. So if you hear my voice, that's what frustrates. A bunch of people that didn't live here, that made money off of talking about someone they didn't know when they only had one side and one objective. Oh, I got an inside scoop. And what would your inside source be? What side? Who would be your inside source? If you're gonna have an inside source, shouldn't it be for both sides? Oh, you just got okay. She's stealing. She's stealing. What else? I wrote my notes, y'all, because I just want to be done. Oh, Harvey. I feel bad for Harvey because, like I said, they tormented us for a year and a half. And Harvey, you're on your year and some months until your next election. If the beginning is a fight, I don't know what's going to happen at the end. I would say get control. Get control. I don't know. I can't speak for Harvey. And you see, that's why I stay away from it. Because I don't know Harvey. I don't know the ins and outs, what goes on. I can just tell you my experience in Dalton. And it's just crazy that these people are coming out now and saying, well, maybe I could judge from sitting back here, even though I'm just a town or two over, listening, but I don't know what you guys go through. You guys have to support each other, be there for one another, and be a community and hold your community accountable. Not try to be in a group, not try to be the new cool kid, not listen to what someone tells you to do and you're an adult. And I'm going to repeat that. Not listen to what someone tells you to do and you're an adult. Stand up for what you believe in yourself. Like I said, I don't interfere with anything anyone got going on at all. Whatever you guys got going, but I will stand up for what's right. You guys seen it time and time again on my channel. I will say, hey, you can't be doing that. That's not right. That's not appropriate. That's not fair. What I tell Mr. Rayburn, if you guys remember when me and Mr. Rayburn was together, put a one in the chat. When I told Mr. Rayburn, I said, Mr. Rayburn, why you say that? Now, why you say that, Mr. Rayburn? You know that's not right. That's not nice. It's just a human, decent thing to do. It's a decent thing to do. And we forget to treat each other with human decency because of the numbers, the clout. Let me tell you, I would have been further along. I just seen Tiffany a plenty of times out and about. I just seen Lacey a plenty of times out and about. I don't pull my camera out on people like people were doing me anytime they saw me in the grocery store and stuff. I don't do that. You are off duty. I respect your privacy. I'm not doing that to anyone. If you ever saw me, I'd be like, well, can I film you? Can I do this? Can I do that? I do want to address one thing. It's this certain content creator that keep on saying I had a hot mic on. No, I did not have a hot mic on. I was tapped on the shoulder, and I'm thinking that like I said, I'm still new. So I'm thinking that I'm like, okay, you tap, you say, hey. I said, well, hey, let me ask you something. Why you do this? Like, why you say that? And the only reason they're mad that I had a hot mic, they want to say it, is because the person was telling me I didn't mean to do that. I don't know why I did that. That's not the type of person I am. And then it became a whole thing because the person apologized to me. I went on with it and minded my business. I just want to know, like, I ask a lot of people that when they try to speak to me, I be like, well, why you, hey, what was the deal? Everyone has given me the same answer. I didn't mean that. Someone told me that you was Team Tiffany and you try to get her elected. So it's 95 of y'all, and it's just me, and I'm gonna make Tiffany win the election with my channel with just 9,000 subscribers. I don't think I had 9,000 yet. I'm gonna make Tiffany win. Like, make it make sense. One person is gonna make Tiffany win, and I stand by this. If I am 1,000% behind Tiffany Henyard, guess what? It's my right to be. You have the right to vote for who you want to, per our rights. So right now we're sitting over here, our constitutional rights. We're sitting over here in a situation, people want to argue, oh, you voted for Trump, you didn't vote for Trump, now food stamps here, people furloughed, this and that. Well, the vote went in. And you know what happened? No matter what, those people exercised their right to vote, and this is where we're at now. So it's the same thing with what's going on here. Get out there and vote. And don't be intimidated. You don't have to tell nobody who you vote for. Vote for who you want to vote for. It's just that I was vocal here on my channel to say, hey, I don't think this is right. Like, y'all coming after this lady child, her mother. You go on Dalton Trustees page, you got all their family, they can have their, I think I saw Ed Steve brother on it. What is Ed Steve brother doing on Dalton, his mother doing on Dalton Trustees page? They live in Dalton. Maybe they do live in Dalton. I don't know. But now, but if Tiffany would have had her mom up there, y'all would be mad talking about she's spending the taxpayer money. It was just so weird how y'all came out of left field about everything, even that little baby. We got to rename the ice skating rink. Do y'all know they took a year and a half of roller skating away from us? A year and a half of roller skating. Now, let me tell you what roller skating means to Chicago. A lot. An outdoor rink and having the JB skaters there would have brought revenue into Dalton. Like, food trucks would have came and parked up there at Melanie Fitness, and we would have had money coming into Dalton. You had people coming, like it was free to the residents, but you would be able to, have communities. They took that away from us. They took Christmas away from us to win. They took the food baskets away from us to win. All of this. And now it's people standing at the food bank with Gucci sweaters telling you to vote for somebody else. Make it make sense. When I saw somebody standing out there with a Gucci sweater outside the food bank, I said, baby, I can't. It's tone deaf up in here. It's talking about sign a petition to the people in line getting food at the food bank. Excuse me? What is going on here? What is going on here? When y'all saw, and I've said this before, and people miss everything I say, guys, I tell you this, and I don't know if it's my voice or what it is, because people are like, oh, Bert, that's why I think I need to come on camera more, because maybe you guys can see me and see how I feel about it, because it's just my voice. When I saw Napoleon didn't even pick, you know how the people go to their front porch and get the newspaper? He didn't even have to do that. He didn't campaign. He said, yeah, just run these pluggers across Dalton politics right quick. And he didn't have to go door to door. He didn't say, hey, I want to be your next supervisor. And y'all voted him and the entire slate in. I was like, oh, y'all, this is what is that? What was the name of that movie, y'all? The Stepford Wives. Everybody was. I said, y'all brainwashed. Y'all are brainwashed. That's why I call this place Derry instead of Dalton. Derry, Illinois. Derry, Maine, Dalton. Let me know if you watch it. So, or so HBO. Let me know if y'all ever read it or you watch Stephen King's It. They live in Derry, Maine, and everybody, the longer they live there, the more brainwashed they are. The more brainwashed they are, and that's here. So now let me be 100% clear. At first, we heard, y'all, if I'm lying, I'm flying. Tell me I'm lying, okay? He doesn't want that seat. He's a millionaire. Do anybody remember that? Put a 1 for yes, please, or a 2 for no. If you remember, he doesn't even want, he's a state senator. He doesn't want that seat. He's a millionaire. Okay. My bad. Okay. Y'all remember that? And then I would tell you guys, I would say, now this is the weird part. I want you guys to understand. People like Napoleon and they like Tiffany. So when we get our ballot, we would get Napoleon Harris as state senator. So people would vote for Napoleon. And then you get Tiffany Henyard as trustee. It was very common. It was nothing wrong with that. They were not rivals where we had to either choose a Napoleon or a Tiffany. That's what I want people to realize. It wasn't that people didn't like him or they didn't like him or her. I would always tell people Napoleon is the popular vote. He's very popular. He's been in politics for a long time. He's a local businessman. And to a lot of people, he's a hometown hero. That is the facts. But Tiffany, she's the first mayor that we've had that lived here. First female black mayor that lived here. Now, on top of that, she has her businesses here. On top of that, she went to school here, right? And then she started politics here. So she was so easily accessible. And Tiffany was somebody you could see walking down the streets at any time. Tiffany did not need all this security because until the internet started attacking her and the media started talking about it. Now, have you guys ever asked Jason House or anyone else, do he have security sit over overnight? Does he have police sitting overnight? Have you guys ever asked? Because I know the answer. So do he have security detail like she did? They snatched the security detail away from her. Now, was that right? Especially when everybody, because we couldn't afford it, right? She shouldn't have a car sitting at her house. Now, not only do our mayor have security detail, but now we got the Pope house that got security detail. Make it make sense. How can we afford both? And it just frustrates me. Do I think it's wrong? No. Do I think the Pope house should be protected? Yeah, anything could happen if it's an investment. Do I think that Jason House should be protected? Yeah, anything could happen. But do I think Tiffany should have been protected? Yeah. Yeah. Does any of that make it wrong? And the only reason I think that way is every mayor I've seen, and I've been through a lot, had security detail, had a police car outside their home. What made it any different with Tiffany? So hold on one second. I just get kind of frustrated that everyone that has something to say won't just do the research. I'm about researching and saying, okay, so wait a minute, Claire Key on the bank account? Now they mad at me because I asked. All I asked was Clerk Key on a bank account? Yes. And Tiffany on a bank account? Yes. And Jason on the bank account? Yeah. But Tiffany can't go on the bank. Right. So how's she spending the money? Burgundy, bitch. What? No. Hey, political sides. Mama Hill said, hell, I'll let it be known straight from my own words and mouth. I said and posted on my page in 2018, she could and might become the first woman and brown woman to be mayor here in the Pick. Oh, yeah, you and Tiffany at the Pick. Was she having a good burger truck at the end? I remember that picture. Still on my page. Now, oh, Harris is foul. Now let me tell you this. But who else told us to vote for Tiffany? Okay, and I'm gonna leave you with this. How many people who stood at that podium have jobs or positions in the village? Oh no, we don't want nothing. We don't want nothing. That's Burgundy. Burgundy trying to do this so Tiffany can give her a job. Why what? What? I was just like, wait, I never want to work for a municipal entity again. Never. That's the thing I did not like. Waiting for who's gonna be a new administration, what's gonna happen with the new. I hated that. I hated that. Tried it once. I tried it twice. Didn't like it either time. But I just wanted the facts to be known. Like, wait a minute. If she's so bad, y'all left us without a police chief. What's his name? Still got his pension and stuff. He good. Tiffany gonna be good. No, y'all didn't stop nothing for these people still living their lives other than move their desk out the door. You understand that, right? Mr. 3,000 hours. Who signed for 3,000 hours? The trustees signed. So why is no one holding anybody accountable for anything? And when you talk about it, they all get on the phone and start colluding on how to make your life worse. Tiffany wasn't doing that. Do y'all remember when I first started? I thought Tiffany was the one that was going to come to my house, cause me terror. I don't know if you guys were here with me that long. But I was like, oh no, this is going to happen. This is going to happen because Tiffany going to find me. And I find out it wasn't Tiffany. All of this was done to win a race, to reform the South, for certain people to have multiple jobs. This is crazy. If you really do the FOIAs and break down how many jobs certain people have, you guys will. Where's Antoine Daniels when you need him? Where is Antoine Daniels? Hey, Madeline. Yeah, I was so scared. Tiffany go find out. They like, hey, we're just making sure. Do you have something to eat this Thanksgiving? Do you need a food box? They didn't ask nothing else. Nothing else. The constant harassment came from the other side, and you guys see it in plain sight happening on YouTube because you won't follow what they want you to follow. Y'all, I could have had 100K probably if I just would be like, y'all, today I saw Tiffany at the gas station with a bonnet. Y'all, today I saw Justice daddy come get her. Y'all, today I could have just been the person on the floor, but then I just started. I'm not gonna do that to my community. Whether you want to listen or not, I'm gonna give you the facts. I'm gonna give you the history. It's not about me getting up here calling the people names and all of that stuff. I'm not gonna do that. I have nothing to do with that at all. Do I think some things they did was silly, like going to Vegas and all that stuff? No, you shouldn't have did that. I understand the trip. All those people did not need to go to Vegas at all. You don't need 2 assistants, 3 police officers, 5 Stan and his wife. What y'all doing in Vegas? Just all that craziness. We didn't need it. But here we are. Okay, I got a special guest. I'm gonna bring them up. Hey, Curtis, you live?
Hey, Berg, how's it going?
It's going great. How are you this evening?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. So you have anything? I'm glad to hear you well. Do you have anything to say about the Southland and how now a lot of people feel like maybe Tiffany wasn't so bad now that we're approaching holiday season?
It is so hilarious now that you got so many people out here who basically are talking about, Tiffany might be right. Tiffany was right when she said this, and she was right when. But man, last year and the year before, they was calling her liar and super liar and double liar and whatever liar, and and man, it's just so amazing to see that so many people are kind of like uh opening up their eyes to this whole situation. And but you know what though, and you know me, I still don't like Tiffany, but I, I'm still, like the thing with me, and I've always, and I've looked at this from, since last year, and observing all of this and looking at the history of the Southland. And and I think I've said this to you before, that Tiffany is basically a product of Southland politics. You know, um, if we're going to blame Tiffany for, you know, her administration and the way she ran it, then we really have to blame the previous Dalton politicians that came across, and also some of the Southland politicians like Frank Zuccarelli, who basically supported her when she ran against Riley Rogers. Um, when you think about that, and you think about her connection with the with Frank Zuccarelli, and don't forget, Riley Rogers was also a Z Team member as well until he fell out with Frank. And but I mean, all of this stems back for at least 2 decades when you think about when Frank Zuccarelli first took over as supervisor of Thornton Township, and also too when you're talking about the Shaw brothers, and in particular, you know, Bill Shaw, and how Southland politics started to devolve into something different and kind of turned into what it is now. Um, you were mentioning about like a lot of outside people who wanted to give and express their opinions on certain things. And a lot of people, including people in this area, kept talking about Tiffany's the problem. And they had this belief that, if we got rid of Tiffany, then everything will go back to the way it was. Well, let me tell you something. The way it was no better than what Tiffany was doing. And so when you think about Tiffany's time in office and how she was raised by a lot of politicians and supported by a lot of politicians and people who basically turned their back on her because of the fact that they asked her for some favors and she didn't follow through on them. And so then at that point, she was made the villain. And obviously, it all came to a head when they tried to do that recall. And whether you feel like it was a successful or failed recall, it didn't get rid of Tiffany. She still stayed in office. You could talk to me about technicalities and stuff like that, but the recall did not remove Tiffany from office. So in the end, the recall failed. I don't care if 90% of Dalton voted to recall her, it did not remove her from office. It failed because certain people didn't want to do their due diligence and due process um, to officially recall Tiffany. And And you know, Berg, and tell me if I'm lying. I said this last year about how how they got, how the trustees got bad legal advice on that whole recall situation.
You did.
And who was the lawyers that was advising the trustees?
The same ones running the town now.
Exactly. Now all of a sudden, according to certain people, they're shit lawyers now.
And but Gardis, I'm going to do like a little clip out. I started a little bit of some of the talking points you made maybe 2 summers ago. Now people are going back and saying these talking points. It's like, wait a minute. No, he said this a year and a half, 2 years ago. And it's so crazy because I said no one was listening at all. Like, this is what we've been saying, and no one took the chance to listen. It was just about, I'll never forget the day I had to go vote. It was just her constant harassment and blocking at the polls because, and it was like, if she's gonna lose, let her lose. Like, you don't have to do all this. Just let the people vote.
Yeah, exactly. And all that extra stuff that happened, and bringing people in and bringing all this press to Dalton. It was all unnecessary. Even if all this press didn't happen, she still could have probably lost. Not as big as she did in this last election, but you know, people would have eventually got frustrated with her and would have basically voted her out.
Would have voted
But
out.
yeah, but unfortunately, we brought all of this chaos, and it unfortunately spilt over to the township, because unfortunately she did get appointed to the township seat, which I think kind of escalated the whole situation, seeing that she's in a township now that comprises 17 municipalities, and some of those municipalities are having the same political issues that that Dalton is having. And then you mentioned Harvey. Harvey was having political issues for well over two and a half decades, maybe three, um if you think about Derek, or who was that guy who was
Was
before,
it Graves?
well, the guy before Graves, Johnson, I think.
Mm.
But I mean, it's been an issue since that time. Um and then now you're seeing that it's affecting several villages like Calumet City, and that whole thing with Thaddeus and some of the
Oh
people
gosh.
support him and are on his team. And now you got a split in their city council with Monet and
Mm-hmm.
Clerk. You got an indicted mayor in Riverdale, and Jackson. Obviously, we know about Dalton and several other places that part of the Southland, but not nearby. When you're talking about uh, cities like Sauk Village, and we already know about Fort Heights and their issues and troubles. I mean, Fort Heights doesn't even have a police department anymore. So yeah, this is all basically a product of bad politics, and Tiffany's a product of it. Tiffany
Okay.
is a huge product
Mhm.
of it.
I can get with that because I would always say it didn't. I even said in that my Lancet Journal interview, this is a starter in with Tiffany. Like, everybody's saying Tiffany, but you see how much power she has when the board says no, which is nothing. So I want to bring up Choose Compassion, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Hey, Choose. Cute picture. Choose your live. Hey. Maybe she's muted.
Chat.
Oh, we hear you now. Hey.
Hey, chat. Can y'all hear me?
We hear you now. Hey.
Yeah, we
Okay, you
do.
said hey, chat. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, chat. How y'all doing?
We doing good. We doing good. How do you feel about it? And how you doing before I keep on going?
You for asking.
How do you feel about this subject we're trying to do? Is basically now Tiffany is cool. That's how I'm gonna put it. Tiffany not so bad right before the holidays.
Tiffany been cool. Well, I mean, she been cool. Not that, and when I say she been cool, y'all already covered. Not that she hasn't done things that are wrong, obviously, you know. But however, once I, get past that, because I don't want people to think like I'm saying, oh, she right. But once we get past all the things that are wrong, I always looked at how people were asking questions out of emotion. Like, Gardis was one of the only people, and Mama Hill, like, it was certain people that were like really talking about the residents. But we know anyone knows the people that were up there, they weren't asking real questions. Everything was based on this inherent, I don't like Tiffany. And I feel like things are actually worse because I heard with my own ears Jason say we have no plan for the youth. What? So, lover or hater, whatever, I feel like whatever, you know, her background, she was the best choice for the residents there. Period.
I feel that way after being here. I don't know how I felt about when Tiffany went over to Thornton Township. I was like, oh, but I'm like, this is interesting. But I definitely felt like she was the best choice for Dalton because she was able, and they did too, because they stood by her in the beginning, right? This is the same person they had been with for 8 years prior. So all of a sudden it turned into this is what we're gonna do. And may I say, I feel like they're doing that to Napoleon right now. They want him to resign. I'm just gonna put that in there.
Mm,
I just feel like they want Napoleon to resign, but I don't think Napoleon care about smear campaigns, business licenses, or nothing. He don't care. That's
I
my
said I was
opinion.
gonna, I said
Mhm.
I was gonna be good. So, um, yeah, regarding the township, everybody saw how that went. So, I think, like, okay, I'm just gonna speak for myself. Overall, I'm at a loss at why Cassandra Elson wasn't, so I'm just, once that wasn't a thing, I'm just at a loss. So, it's not like Tiffany voted herself, Chris Gonzalez and all them did it. So what you do is you work with what you have. But what I saw was from the beginning, it was critique, 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 critique. And with this new administration, which is the old new administration, I call them, over at the township, is what I'm talking about. Now it's like, oh, we don't know. We're new at our jobs. Oh, give us some time. But nobody wanted to give Tiffany time or credit that, look, you got Jason over here as the mayor, and you got Napoleon over here as a supervisor, and she was doing both jobs. So excuse me, what? She not qualified, huh? And the food box is what? So like personally, I think it comes down to it's something about Tiffany that rubs you the wrong way, I think, because it rubbed me and I'm speaking for myself. When I say you, I'm actually speaking for myself. Like, it rubbed me the wrong way at first. I'm the first. I've said it. I said it a long time ago. I'm like, who this lady? What's she doing talking like this to all these people? But once you see what's going on in the background and the actual conspiracy against her with her chief of staff, come on now. can we tell the truth? Your chief of staff is conspiring against you. Jason House conspiring against you. All because basically, if we're gonna talk about it, yeah, you're a product. She is a product of the whole political machine. And that political machine, Riley Rogers had a stroke and whatever he lost, he knew he was losing. But behind the scenes, this was being put together against a woman. So do we really know if she's qualified? Do we really know what her actual capabilities would have been had she not been prevented from doing her job repeatedly and then two jobs? So this is what I could never understand about why Tiffany's so dumb, why she's so this, why she's so that. She got two jobs. And as we can see, from per what I'm seeing, again, I'm gonna speak for myself because I got people there. So from what I see, everybody's sad, and it's not a secret. People been saying that. You even got the advocate over there asking for Tiffany. Don't ask for Tiffany. She's not Nanny McPhee. And I'm done.
I love that. I didn't understand why it was just always against Tiffany when everybody ran on Tiffany ticket. Let's be fair. Jason didn't win when he won. Kiana didn't win when she won. Tiffany ran, I'm sorry, when she was the strongest person to run against Riley and I forgot what was the other name, Burge. He wasn't gonna win anyway. She was the strongest candidate, even if it was COVID, whatever. No one was gonna win but Tiffany Henyard, and she won. So now all of a sudden she's the worst thing ever in life. Oh, this person's making she's making 200 and some thousand a year. Well, what happened now? What Napoleon make it? He didn't even he said, I'm not starting from episode one, season one, episode one. He said, I'm not starting. What do you think about that,
Eh,
Gardens? Like, or choose, how do you feel about that? Like, he's like, I don't care what the rules say, I don't care what the bylaws were. I'm not
well,
starting from season one, episode one.
he actually sure did. What he said was, go ahead, renew for another season and put it with the Crones. So renew this contract, but I feel how I feel is just as disgusted as I felt when he was behind the scenes as a Democratic committeeman changing the rules to really stack the deck against Tiffany. But everybody missed that. The rules that came out in July of 2024. Yeah, I guess everybody missed that, right? Okay, gotcha.
I agree. Hey, Gardens, you have anything to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he got exposed for for uh circumventing the system to, get the salary that he wanted. Um and I specifically remember how people were saying last year. Remember that show we did, and you asked me who the possible candidates were to replace Tiffany at Thornton Township, and I said Napoleon Harris was one of them, and people were like, "Oh, he don't need that job. He a state senator. He don't need that job." Okay, all right. And so while all that's happening, when he's supposedly not going to run for supervisor of Thornton Township early last year, he's over there changing laws or getting laws pushed through shell bills affecting the township. Now, why is he doing that if he doesn't want to run for Thornton Township supervisor? And that was back in 2024 in May. So, all that talk about he ain't gonna run, he don't need that job, that type of thing. Yeah, okay. You know, I always try to look at people's intentions and why they want to do certain things and try to obtain certain positions, because politics is all about raising your profile. It's all about getting as much money and accumulating as much power as one can, in the guise of helping the people, which I don't see any of our politicians in the Southland helping anybody, and I don't think I've seen it in a quite a long time. So when you think about the intentions of some of these politicians and when they get into office, um, you start to see, just like Napoleon. I really didn't expect it to be this early, like less than his first 100 days of his intentions. And I mean, you even see how much he cares about being a supervisor, even though it's the job that pays him the most money. Some people tell me he's barely in the 333 building. Uh, if he does come at least once, if he does come once a week, I would figure if you're making 200 something $1,000, you should be in there every day, including some weekends. But
Typically, there a lot. Yeah.
Now, did not Ben look? I'm sorry, my daughter finna come out. Did not Ben say
We have a
that?
professor on the line. You can't say that. Didn't I been say it?
Okay, haven't I said before that he is a big jock? And if you look back at his history, when has he ever answered a question without it being via text or more than a 2 sentences? Like, this is just the history of Napoleon. I didn't understand why anybody even entertained that. It was weird.
He's the popular vote, and I'm gonna be honest. You know what? I cannot wait to see the race between him and Stephanie. And I hate that people uh ignore Monet from Calumet City. She's an Alderman Monet. I forgot her.
Yep.
mm-hmm.
They ignore her, and it's just like the race between. I'm interested, and I wish more people would interview Monet as well, because this is my opinion, not of Gardis or Choose. I'm skeptical. I don't know who, if I had to vote for Stephanie or Napoleon, I wouldn't even know which way to go. One would be because of Stephanie not coming out to speak on her part with INA, and the other part, and just how I got to see Stephanie grow over this is my opinion, you guys. When I would ask her, I said, well, why don't you run for something? Oh, no, I don't want to run. I don't want to do that. I don't care. I just care about the people. And then I'll be like, okay, you just care about the people. And they'll be like, no, it's the people. It's the people I care about. Then the next thing, they pushed me into this seat for Jerry. You know what? The people are asking for me to take Napoleon's seat. And then I see the slow, in my opinion, not to say Stephanie has anything to do with this part, but I see the slow, now all of a sudden Napoleon's the worst thing ever. And it's like, dude, people been saying that. Like, what are you talking about? Like, dude, what are you saying? This is what the people said. Now it's like, no. I'm kind of scared. That's just I'm interested in seeing, but I'm kind of scared because both options seem kind of scary to me as a person that live here. Now, I'm interested in hearing what Alderman Monet, because I don't know much about her, or Alderwoman, I guess, what she has to say. Because, and I don't know who else is running for that seat, because that is a powerful seat. And it's not a paid for seat, and I'm doing air quotes, but it's not a cash, but it's something to that seat that people wanted. And I just want to know more about it. So I'm interested in seeing the race, and I just want to know more about it to know who I would vote for. And I think, well, not me, but I think other people should really get involved and hold people accountable for the Democratic committeeman, because I'm gonna say that Napoleon almost got his EGOT, right? EGOT is like with the Emmy, the Grammy, the Oscar, and the Tony in the acting, in the creative world. He almost got the Frank Zuccarelli, I would call it. What was Frank Zuccarelli? President of South Suburban, right? Then Democratic committeeman, then Thornton Township supervisor, and something else. Didn't he do something for like CTA or something? He had a couple.
Yeah, and yeah, there's probably 2 more jobs that were missing that he did as well. But you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that Napoleon's running neck and neck with, because he had the insurance job, the senator job, and now what is it? Democratic committee man. He's almost as Tiffany put it, the most powerful man in the Southland. Really, he's running like neck and neck with Frank to me.
No, I disagree.
No, okay.
No, because here's the thing.
Mhm.
As far as his position in the state, because he is a state senator, Frank had more influence with
Mm.
politicians. Frank got seats for mayors, for councilmen, for trustees, even school board members. Because when you look at the Z team had all those type of people.
Mhm.
I remember because Frank used to host these parties at his house for the Thornton Township employees, and I remember going to one, and when you went to his house, it was the who's who of Southland politics there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it was the who's who of Southland politics that was all there.
Hmm. Okay. Well, that's interesting to know, because I was like, man, he's gonna have like the same amount, because Frank was really in control of everything. So let's talk about. So how do you guys think this Christmas is going to go? Tiffany will open up Melanie Fitness, which is now Rutgers Fitness, and that's a whole nother story. I'm not mad that it's going to be a fitness center. I'm so glad to have something healthy, for sure. So it's not a slight against Rutgers opening up a fitness center, but it does make me think about the fight about selling that building and how long that went on. That's what confuses me. I have to look at those board meetings and say, what was the big holdup? Because it happened so fast. Um, so was that the plan all along? I don't know. But she used to open up Melanie Fitness for Christmas for the kids to come in and the parents to pick out what they wanted, 3 toys, instead of them just getting a random bag of gifts or whatever. And she would, dress up. How you think this year is gonna go? Because I don't know. Does Napoleon go to bingo and yell out the numbers and do line dances like Tiffany was? I haven't been to bingo.
It'll be interesting this year. I'm pretty sure they're gonna attempt to do the toy giveaway. Um, I'm also interested to see too how much money they've lost from federal funding, considering that the government is shut down, uh,
Mm.
and how much money they have to concentrate on their food pantry, since people who are on SNAP have to find another source of getting food. And I mean that's gonna affect Thornton Township as well, in regards to that, because when we got schools losing federal funding, um, and I'm pretty sure, like I said, Thornton Township is losing federal funding as well. So I don't know. Yeah, this is gonna be very, very interesting to see how this all plays out, and if the township is able to afford it. Now, I know the state was willing to do some, fill the gaps in the lack of funding from the federal government, but we'll see how long the state can hold up financially, trying to fund the empty gaps that the federal government can't fulfill right now.
And I'm glad you said that, Gardis, because thanks for the reminder. I was working on a video of where you could get food. It says on Tuesday, November the 18th, from 3 to 7, turkey only on the flyer. Okay, so that's your answer. November the 18th, you got to register. I put the link in the chat, and it says right here, 1 turkey per household, and it's going to be turkey only. They only putting the turkey in your car.
Oh my gosh.
Don't be good. Don't be thinking you gonna get smoky turkey tails, greens, and all them turkey. Okay, so maybe
You
that
gotta
had
be
to
kidding.
do. Hmm?
My bad. I was mumbling in the
No, go
background.
ahead,
I'm like,
choose.
you
Go ahead.
got to be kidding me.
Yeah, you get a turkey, one turkey per household. So Frank was giving out those Cornish hen. Well, remember that lady left with all those chickens in her truck? It's not gonna happen.
Yes.
But
Yes.
maybe it's with, and thanks for saying that, Gardis. Maybe they had to break down the food budget because I can't say that's not true. Maybe because of the federal funding. I don't know.
No,
Maybe.
I think it very much affects it affects the township. And like I said, now that they have to distribute more food than they probably are capable of because of the SNAP benefits cutoff, that's going to put them in the bind for the turkey giveaway. So it's a unique time when you think about what's happening. Um, I don't think because of the fact that they're giving away only one turkey is because of the change in leadership, but I think it is more of the situation that's happening right now. Now, if this happened last year, then yeah, that would be that would be something to kind of like critique and criticize on why they're only being stingy on the food, but I think the food is limited in the township right now.
We will take your word for that, Gardis. Now, y'all, there go the QR code if you want to scan it, and I think you can drive through, so they'll give you directions. Also, this is something that I want to put. I had that on my list. They opened up partial SNAP benefits the 7th through the 22nd. You get like half your SNAP benefits now, and then they'll like trickle in a little here and a little there. So check your SNAP benefits, call the number or check the app and see if you got your benefits. Don't give up yet. So because I think it was a court order, he had to release, the president had to release partial SNAP benefits out there. Also,
And,
oh, go
and
ahead. Go
whatever,
ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. You got the floor.
Whatever they do, they can't do it as well as Tiffany. And regarding this food, I'm just going to go back to his salary. So
Oh, good
there's
point.
there's a whole bunch of money right there. Had he just did what he's supposed to do and not stole from the people, like now this to me is literally taking food out of people's mouth. Crazy work.
Ah, man, you are so right. I did not even think about that. Yeah.
I think Nate was at a board meeting and he mentioned that about, was he willing to cut his salary to support, some of the deficits that the township is having.
And I know he just looked at him. He just, you know, he just
Of course, like Napoleon's not gonna give up that salary.
he just looked like your 3 minutes is up.
Right.
Next,
He stare with them empty eyes. Okay.
like me give up
Mm-mm.
Gucci, never.
So yeah, so I just think about that. Like, I mean, he literally you took steps. I mean, of course, nobody liked that Tiffany, was getting a salary, but this isn't a nobody sees the difference here. Tiffany didn't Number one, she didn't vote for herself. People mad like she voted for herself as supervisor. So can we please remember Tiffany ain't vote for herself. They voted for her. So that's
Mm.
number one. But so she came into that salary whether we liked it or not. He did some underhanded stuff. And we just being like, well, he put a shell, but what? Tiffany was going to jail with no evidence. If Tiffany did this, they be she there'd be shame. Shame. Like Game of Thrones, girl.
Oh, Tiffany would not. They would have. What did they put her head on a spike at that point if she would have did
Um,
that?
so that's all I'm saying. It's like, can we be for me, It was never about Tiffany versus this person, Tiffany versus that person. But now that we okay, here we are. So we not about we just finna be like, oh my god, it's a show, but yeah, ain't nobody gonna go and as a township, not one person Gardas, you know what I'm saying? One person just standing on the same business the whole time. Gardas Watts. Man, as a township, y'all not gonna like I mean,
No,
what?
they're not
This
gonna
is
bring no footballs, pots and pans.
You didn't have we still waiting to see evidence of Tiffany. But this is right here. And this is okay. Y'all gonna go up there and keep I'm not talking about Gardas because Gardas gonna talk to anybody. Period. So I'm talking about the people that y'all not gonna come out, y'all not gonna question. This is real like what? No pressure? Okay, got you. Got you.
Because it wasn't about
Much
that.
ado about nothing.
Yeah,
Got it.
I think also too, like, you know, there was a point last year where I realized, like, you know, they're not going to arrest Tiffany because, for one, if there would have found anything criminal that she'd have done, she would have been gone since last year. Like, I always felt, and Berg, you know this, if she made it through her whole term, there was no way she's going to jail. There's no way she's going to jail. People still believe that she's going to go to jail, and I'm like, that's a pipe dream now. Like that is something that, as much press that she got last year, and you mean to tell me, and the federal agents being around investigating this, and you mean to tell me they still ain't got nothing to charge her with? She's not going to jail.
Mm-mm.
So at the
Nobody went to jail.
yeah, I mean, well, the only thing that was close to it was when Keith Freeman was indicted on those bankruptcy charges. That's the only thing that was that was there. Like, Andrew Holmes ain't been arrested yet. All these other people that was claiming that they're gonna get arrested and go into jail, and like I said, Keith Freeman was the closest thing to something of a criminal type of activity, and that was because of the bankruptcy fraud that he was actually indicted with, which I'm not sure, did they
I
take
don't think
that to
he got. Yeah,
yeah, did
no,
they take that to court, and
no.
yeah,
He had. Yeah.
did he get charged with that? So yeah, that's the only thing that's happened. I mean, you saw how quickly the feds indicted Jackson in Riverdale for that, trash deal, and that was like way before Tiffany got popular.
Yep.
So I'm like,
Yep.
how come they have not even indicted Tiffany? Like, can they find anything? I mean, all they find is, and it's so funny. I was talking to somebody about, and there was somebody here who was, a big anti Tiffany person, and he was asking me about, is Tiffany the worst mayor that you've seen? And I said no. I was like, Eric Kellogg is worse than Tiffany, because the thing about Kellogg was he was actually a criminal mayor. Like, he was involved in a whole a scheme that involved strip clubs providing prostitution, and shaking down those strip clubs for money, strip clubs that were tied that had mob ties to it. And what was so funny is everybody around him got arrested except him, because he basically gave up state's evidence. Now, you hear certain people, well, he didn't get arrested. Of course he didn't, because in a lot of cases, the criminals who start to talk and start to give up people who actually did some of the ground level criminal activities, but per his orders, yeah, they'll give them up real easy. So, yeah, I mean, this is why sometimes these mob bosses, they stay out of jail, because they give up the lower people. This is why certain politicians who run amok in office for all these years, and everybody around him gets surrounded. Everybody that's surrounding him gets thrown in jail, but they get to stay out. So just because he wasn't arrested, don't mean he ain't a criminal. And so when I talk about Tiffany, you know, Tiffany at the time was a bad mayor. She became a corrupt mayor, but she was never a criminal mayor because she never was indicted on anything. So to me, I was like, we had this argument about that, and I'm like, no, she's not worse than Eric Kellogg. Eric Kellogg's the worst mayor that I've seen in the Southland. But he tried to convince me that Tiffany was the worst, and I wasn't going for it.
Let me tell you, this is something. It just, I'm not mad that people, and I agree, Gardis, I'm not mad that people see that maybe Tiffany wasn't so bad. I just think my purpose is why we couldn't research for ourselves. Why was everything so one-sided? What was the purpose of that? And why a bunch of people who now abandoned us, who didn't even live here, telling us how we should live. And now they're like, well, you know what? Maybe it wasn't all bad after all. Well, it's too late now. It's too late now. Y'all got any final words? Any final words, guys? Hello?
I was wondering.
Choose is gone. All right. Sorry, I'm doing two things at once at the sewing machine. Okay, well that's it then. We'll just end the show here. I just think it just makes me sad that this happens and that people now are realizing this. And Aubrey said, "Hey family, the whole Southland is full of crooks. They should have just kept that one crook in both seats instead of having two different crooks and two different criminal organizations."
Oh wow!
I guess you're right, Aubrey. I've been telling us so since the beginning. And then Mama Hill said, "All you wonderful good vibing beings, Mama Hill about to meet with my chocolate cupcake and nice glass of blueberry Stella Rosa and a good movie. Tiffany not going to jail. She's paid some big fines, no jail. She'll pay." And Madeline says, "True." Well, thank you for enlightening us, Gardis. Thanks for telling us about how, the food could have changed. And my prayers to everybody that I have friends in the federal government. I didn't know they still had to go to work and they're not getting paid. I thought they were laid off. And they're like, no, you still gotta go.
You're talking about the air traffic controllers?
And yeah, the air traffic control, people in the federal prisons, all type of stuff. They all have to go to work still.
Yeah, and you saw like they're reducing the flights by 10% this weekend, or I think 20% this weekend from airports. So if you got a flight going out, you might want to check it because it might be delayed or you might be bumped onto another flight. But I mean, that's like federal politics is endemic to what we see in the Southland. A whole bunch of corruption, whole bunch of stuff that is really not for the people. And I know you about to end, but one of the things that that we probably want to discuss too is that how did a city like South Holland not be affected by all of this mess that's going on in the surrounding suburbs? And I have an interesting perspective on that, but we'll talk about that later.
I would love to talk about that for sure. And have you seen Lansing?
I think and Lansing is another one. Lansing is another one that hasn't been too much affected. However, Lansing is not and correct me if I'm wrong, Lansing is still kind of like ethnic, their residents ethnically it's not like an overwhelming majority of a certain group of ethnic people. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, I think you're right. They have a nice mixture. But wait, South Holland I thought did too. Or are you
South Holland is majority Black now.
Okay, all right, cool. Go Dutch.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
yeah,
y'all.
I know. It's majority black now, but yet we still have not been affected by the bad government that is, that has affected the surrounding areas of South Highland, like Harvey and Dalton and other one. Now it does border Lansing, which Lansing is still doing pretty good too. So
Yeah, that's good. Any final words, choose?
I don't really have any final words. I want to just end and say that, people who are seeing the other side, I'm all for it. It
Mhm.
feels a little weird, but I'm all for it. Like, let's tell the truth because the truth is what we need, and we're obviously not getting it. Um, let's see pretty much what Mama Hill said about the caucus, and I don't understand why Ed Steve was so mad at Tiffany when the residents didn't vote him back in. So that whole 99 thing was crazy. And what else did Mama Hill say? None of them that ran on Tiffany ticket, they didn't have the courage to run for mayor against Riley because they definitely wouldn't have won. So I don't like how they did everything that they did. And that's all I have to say. I love Tiffany and there's nothing that nobody can do about it.
Yep, and I love that they didn't break her spirit. Like she went through a lot, and you still couldn't break her spirit. You know what I mean? Um, they
Right.
did everything they could. That's
Thing
what I
right
love.
there. That I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
I,
you did.
what I think for me, when I be like, yeah, Tiffany, yeah, that's the thing that I admire about her. Like, honestly, if a person has ever gone through anything similar to this, come on now, people. I'm always gonna say that at the end of the day, this was a very serious whatever. Well, we can say this was a very serious smear campaign against Tiffany Henyard that could have had resulted in any amount of horrible consequences. And I really admire Tiffany A. Henyard for not only how she got through it, but just looking at her spirit the whole time. She took all y'all comments, whether she was looking down or what. She did what she was supposed to do. She was the only one of all of them that said, I'm not finna do a smear campaign against y'all. She the only one kept her word. I look at stuff like that. Those are
Mhm.
the things that I look at in people. So everybody can, people can miss me with how she talk, how she walk, how she move, who she date. No, you look at people's spirits, hearts, and soul. Like Tiffany has a wonderful, beautiful spirit. And like I said, anything could happen. And on some levels people can resonate with being like feeling like everybody's against you, but this was so publicly. So that's my admiration for Tiffany getting through this. She is still, see, again, no matter what y'all try to do to her, not anybody here, but no matter what y'all try to do to her, she's still an inspiration to somebody. You feel me? Now she's an inspiration to a whole bunch of young generation people who gonna be bullied. Stop playing. I'm sorry. So that's what I admire about Tiffany. I got real deep and dark there. My bad, but
No, you wasn't dark. I mean, it's the truth. It's the truth, and I love that about her too. I love that about her too, and she kept on going. So she lived to say it. Like leave that girl alone. Let her live her life. And that's all I gotta say. So thanks for joining me, y'all.
well, as usual, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure, Gardis, and it's always a pleasure chat. Until next time, love and light.
all right, ladies.
All right, bye.
All right.
And you guys make sure you follow Choose Compassion Choose, if you can't put your link in the chat, please follow her. She has great content. She did a story the other day about it was so juicy. Why couldn't I remember it right now? Eddie Winslow. I didn't know he was going through all that. I was like, what? So follow Choose Compassion. She does other content except for Dalton, not just Dalton. Okay. Thanks for joining me. I do share Choose sentiments with the it's not that I can't be cool with anybody that's not what I'm saying. I just see the pattern. If you still have anger in your heart for something that you did, that's going to have to be something you have to release. And that's not to one specific person. I ran into somebody the other day and they were still rah, rah, sis, boom, bah. And it's like, girl, let it go, boo. Let it go. We have to move forward in life. I have my right to have my opinion, and I have an opinion just like everybody else. And I don't run behind what you want me to run behind. I think for myself. So that's just what it is. So I do share the sentiment of it's nothing wrong, because you could think I thought Tiffany had goons. I thought they were going to come. Then all of a sudden I started to see what was really happening, and maybe I saw it a little earlier than other people did. That's all I'm trying to say, if that makes sense. So it's okay, because sometimes it takes people longer to see things, especially if they had this thing where they were told this was happening, and you're told from these insiders. I know how that is too. All these insiders are telling you this is what she did, this is what she did, until it's done to you. Me today, you tomorrow. All right, Aubrey, I told you, you've been telling us since the beginning. Been telling us since the beginning. And yep, she's still standing, and I appreciate y'all. I want to see what you said. It's just my observation. It seemed like they were all friends. They're all together, and they're supposed to make a move together. And Tiffany ran off with the bag. I just think we got in the middle of a friend beef. That's what I think. I think they were friends, and it was a misunderstanding, and somebody didn't get what they want. That's what I think. And I think now, if I had to guess, this is a guess, like just like we all doing, right? Because I wasn't there. I think once she became supervisor, they sort of wanted her to give up that Dalton seat, and she didn't. You have to remember, she was first term mayor in her first year, and then she got right into that supervisor seat. And that's, sorry guys. And they probably was like, well, hey, just give this seat up. And she ended up holding both. Yeah. And I'm looking at these new meetings with Rucker and Kiana and all of those guys. They've been crooked since they won. Tiffany broke bad and ran off with the stash, so they wanted to get her out. I haven't even watched this. I haven't watched the meetings all the way, but I will say in about 4 years, Dalton will be, in about 3 years, it'll be called Ruckerland. So we're going to have Rucker Greens, Rucker for less, Rucker trees. So, and if he's the one that want to invest in Dalton, who am I to say anything different? Like I said, Melody Fitness sat there vacant for a long time. I think my curiosity is like, when did they fall out? Like, why did Tiffany and him fall out? I think I would like to know that, because remember, they both had restaurants in South Suburban. They both were, out and about. So it seems like to me we got into a beef between a bunch of people that were cool. And then I think Tiffany was supposed to stay at a certain level, and she didn't stay in her place. That's what I think. After I see it, because it was sort of, not to compare, I'm not a Tiffany Henyard, but I noticed when I was on YouTube, if you guys knew I was on YouTube already, let me know. Did you guys know I was already on YouTube, or did you find me with Dalton? So when I was on YouTube, I ain't had no issues. I doing my thing, doing my videos. And then as soon as people in Dalton found out I was on YouTube, I started getting doxxed. I started getting harassed. They calling my job. They messing with my life. It was just insane. And all I'm doing is videos like everybody else. The only thing was I wasn't saying what they wanted me to say. I was supposed to stay in my place. And I noticed a lot of that with the people here in charge in Dalton. They want you to stay in your place. Stay in your place at this level, never grow, and do what we tell you to do. and that's it. And that's what I think. That's my thought on the Tiffany situation. I could be wrong. Like Tiffany could have been total Ursula trying to take Kiana's voice away. I don't know. You know, kicking the picture with her Louboutins. I don't know. I wasn't there. However, it does sound fishy with some of the stories when you play back in your head some of the stories you heard them say. And then you like, now wait a minute, this happened, how this happened? Now this happened, now how this happened? Now why you ain't do nothing to say this? It's kind of fishy. So the residents were telling them to make up. Tiffany didn't do what they wanted. They changed up every time it was time to make a decision. Yeah. And then I want to say this. This is like the Burgundy blogger gossip, the Burgundy K, if you will, the Tasha K, Burgundy K. This would be my thought. You have to go back to the history, okay? Tiffany and Jason were super close, right? They were friends. Kiana came along. Brittany was over there with Riley. Steve was over there with Riley. Who got left? Clark Key came with Tiffany and them, right? With Jason. I guess Jason brought Clark Key. Tiffany trusted Jason. Okay. Then you have to remember Tiffany was a trustee. She was doing stuff as a trustee alone to stop the violence situation, parade, whatever she did. Tiffany did it herself. She would complain even at the board meetings, like, I don't get no support from y'all. Okay. Tiffany was pregnant, had a baby, and within a year, dude got married to somebody else. I'm not even, I mean, this is public. This ain't nothing else. It's just crazy, right? And then next thing you know, she on the news every 5 minutes because dude married a news anchor. This is true. This is what happened. You know, it's nothing bad. Then Tiffany had to, well, you can't now, but we covered it. Go to Thornton Township and see Tiffany had to release a statement like, leave me alone. Then Dane Planko come out here and Tiffany doing this. And then all the news people came. I'm not saying it was a conspiracy. Now we got the PR people turning against her. Then all of it just turned into craziness, media-wise. Meanwhile, she's still a single mother trying to make it. She's all alone. The board turned against her. Everybody turned, her baby daddy turned against her. She out here. Look, out here, about to, now, before we even get to that, she's on her second term as trustee. So if she don't win the mayor, now COVID is coming. If she don't win the mayor, she doesn't have a job at the village. She wins the mayor. First year, 4 months in as mayor, they have a meeting, tell her to open the doors in the middle of COVID, and everybody talking about how horrible. And she's like, just give me a chance. Her eyes watering. She got her baby on her hip. Well, Nikita's holding the baby. And then everybody turned against her. It was a rough 4 years. She never got a chance. So I just don't see her. I don't know. Like I said, I wasn't there. But they was on her buns the first 6 months. I just don't see that lady stealing money for 3 years getting away with it. They never told us how much the recall cost. When they don't feel like telling us something, they just don't. When they want to spend money on something, they do. And it's cool. People say, I don't think we should buy the Pope house. We don't care. We're going to buy it anyway. It passed. It's really sad that nobody can. Like, I'm wondering how in the long run will that Pope house benefit Dalton. That's very interesting. I'm not mad about the fitness center. I'm so glad it's something here healthy for people to do. I'm wondering, did they say how much it sold for? I didn't get into that. Like, did anybody hear that at the board meeting? That's a little stuff I'd be wondering. But the girl went through a lot in 4 years. I don't know nothing about her and Kamal and his baby mama or his wife. I don't know nothing about that. It ain't got nothing to do with me. But I'll tell you one thing, I'm glad she had some support through all of this. I do not know that lady personal business. But to see how the world, now she just didn't have the village against her. She had the world against her. She was the most hated person in the world. She done shot up 2 houses. What else she do, y'all? She shot up 2 houses. She all this craziness that they put on her. She survived a lot. And all we know is she showed up for work. How about that? Yeah, look, yeah. Okay, you at your lowest. So Shava said, seeing her man marry a famous lady that she could see on TV must have broke her deep, no joke, and have a baby with her. Now, this is the crazy thing. Like I said, I don't know. This is just me on the outside. Let's not forget how the chief and his wife was the godparents. Hello, did y'all forget about that? Everybody turned against this girl. Everybody turned against this girl. This girl had nobody in her corner but her parents. Then as soon as the lady with the red glasses decided to give her interview, y'all start doxing her. She had no one to turn to. She had no one to turn to. So I'm glad she survived that. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. You know? So hopefully, you know what I said, that me today, you tomorrow, it sticks. All right, love you guys. Enjoy your evening. I gotta finish this. I've been trying to finish this dress since yesterday. And then I'm doing a Mrs. Claus outfit I gotta show y'all. And the last thing I want to say is I'm gonna have a video about the West Side police chase up in about 30 minutes. All right. Tuesday is tomorrow. See y'all soon. Thanks for listening to me. And thank you, Gardis, for telling us about the economic part. And thank you, Choose, for giving us some history and telling us how we should be looking at things with a kinder heart. Appreciate you guys. Bye.